What's happening right now with games was bound to happen. We are seeing the downfall of an excessively greedy, excessively corporate system that has been trying to take something as simple as video games, as just having a good time and enjoying a video game, into money-making machines. We are seeing people who have tried to exploit a sector fall into their own pitfalls, making it unsustainable, and getting shown up by AA studios, putting out passion projects. And while we've been talking about indie games for a while, we used to talk a lot about stuff like Hollow Knight, other indies that were anywhere between 1 to 15, 20 people making these great games. But that's not what's happening right now. We are now seeing what we used to call AA studios, this intermediate concept between an indie and a AAA studio, these 40 to 100, 120 person studios coming out with games that are not just rivaling the quality of AAA games that are 5 times their size and budget, but seeing so much more success because they are better games than what the industry at large has been able to produce. And if that isn't a wake-up call to these big studios, to the big corporate suits, on what they're supposed to do to actually sell games and make so much of the money that they want to make, I don't know what is. The funny thing is that we have these direct comparisons. We have Palworld with Pokemon, and we have Helldivers 2, with Suicide Squad and Skull and Bones coming out all in the same month. And that makes it all the more sweet to compare. Now, both of these games have been massive successes in spaces that are frequently considered uncontestable. They have managed to do so in areas where you couldn't take down a giant. But Palworld proves, even if it doesn't end up selling like Pokemon, right? It just proves straight up that if you have 40 people and they make a good game that gives people what they want, that's fun to play, it'll do great, right? It isn't an indie game. It had a marketing budget behind it. We knew it existed. It did its marketing right, but it was immediately captivating. The reason that a game like Palworld spreads like wildfire isn't based on its marketing. It's not that success in this industry is about luck. If you get enough marketing and enough eyes on your game to get 100 people to play it, but your game is so good, it offers something that is so impressive to those players, that 30 of those 100 actively go out and recommend the game to other people, eventually it's gonna be a fire. And Helldivers 2 proves the same exact concept. We have Yves Guillemot from Ubisoft. He said that Skull and Bones was the first quadruple A game and the future of gaming. Do I need to say more? And then we had Suicide Squad, a game in development for 6+ years that nobody wanted to be a live service game, but that we were even okay with. We were okay with it being a live service game if it gave us something that was good, that had that heart and soul that we expected from Rocksteady. It didn't need to be Batman. It just needed to have that essence of them. It was fine if it was Sunset Overdrive, but in the DC universe. But it turns out that every little detail of that game is worse because of what it is. Even for as many people are going to find good in it, I can't wait for all the videos we're going to get of people saying Suicide Squad is actually great or something. But the truth is that it's a game that would have been better if done differently, if done without the microtransactions, if done without the live service model. And what do we have instead? Helldivers 2, which absolutely shows up so many other live service games. And this is the truth. Quality is king. Suicide Squad servers don't work. People are mad. Helldivers 2 servers collapsed. They're like DJ Khaled right now, just suffering from success. Yeah, people are mad. Of course they're mad. They should be mad. But you know what? People just want to play the game. They'll wait in queue to play the game because the game is so much fun, because they're enjoying the game so much that instead of making this huge stink around the game, there's even people defending the studio in the sense of, hey, the team last time around had a peak of 10,000 concurrent players maximum. And this time around, they've got over 400,000. Guess what? They didn't expect it. It's gonna be fixed as soon as possible, but the game is so much fun that we're actually going to speak highly of the developer, that we're actually going to in our sadness, in our potential anger of not being able to play a game that we paid for, we're still gonna kind of champion them because the game they made is so good that people are willing to do that. Then we would never, ever in a million years do that for Suicide Squad or Skull and Bones, and it's not because we dislike Rocksteady or Warner Brothers or Ubisoft. It's because the games are just not that good. This has to be a moment where these huge companies turn around and say, hey, maybe we've been putting a lot of effort into marketing and into monetization systems and into live service downstream support or whatever other corporate jargon you can come up with that makes it sound like we're in a boardroom, and we haven't been putting enough emphasis on making a damn good game by people who are passionate and want to make it. You don't need 1,300 employees across 14 studios. You just need a team of people committed to making a good-ass game and putting it out there, and people will love it, and the success will follow. And I spent my entire life with people telling people, and hearing other people say that at the end of the day, if you just make something that's really good, if you just keep grinding away and make the best possible thing you can, success will follow. And these major corporations have forgotten that message that we hear so often. Turns out, if you make a good game, success will follow. If you dare to innovate, if you dare to try something new, if you just open your eyes for a second and look at what people are asking for, and then you get a group together that can deliver on that, you're going to be successful. How is that so hard to understand? Sorry, I'm kidding. Gotta calm down. Whenever I'm making a video, I try and be calm. I try and present a voice of reason. I never want to be one-sided. I never want to be excessively biased. But this sort of stuff really gets under my skin. Because I'm going to be completely honest with you who's watching this right now. I am so mad, not at the amount of money that corporations have made on terrible products. I'm not excited to see them failing. I'm just pissed off that there have been so many talented individuals, so many millions upon millions of dollars wasted on garbage products, on failed projects, that they then sweep away under the rug by saying, well, it's that we had the wrong target demographic, the marketing campaign wasn't what worked. What didn't work is that you made a bad game, because that was never your priority. And when it is, this is what happens. I have a video today, or later today, or tomorrow, I'm not sure, on Last Epoch. And it's just another example that we can add into this pile. In every way that Diablo 4 has failed, to me personally, and I'm not deep into the scene, I'm not going to talk about super detailed stuff about Last Epoch versus Diablo 4. No, just as a person who plays the game, who signs in, plays through the campaign, and has some fun, Last Epoch is so much better than everything that Diablo 4 did. A game that God knows how many people worked on it. For how many years? When Last Epoch is the first project of a group of people of whom the majority had no previous experience in game development. But you know what they did have? Passion. And you know what they didn't have? Stupid corporate oversight telling them how a game should be made. The system isn't working. I am an incredibly optimistic person. I try very hard to. Because to be honest, when it comes to pessimism, I just don't see the point in it. It seems really, really useless. I don't want to point to these examples to say, stick it to the man, right? This isn't about championing the success of these AA games and laughing in the face of the failure of others. That's not what we should learn here. What these companies have to learn instead is that they need to make really good games. Because they have made excellent games in the past. All of these companies that are so garbage today, Blizzard, Activision, EA, Ubisoft, the list can go on. They've all had absolute classics. Ubisoft, before they released the first quadruple-A game ever, released the new Prince of Persia, The Lost Crown, which is a phenomenal game. They say it failed because it's a single-player Metroidvania. And they say that because they have no clue what they're talking about. Prince of Persia failed because it had terrible marketing that was very confusing on what it was, on if it was a spin-off, on if it was a reboot, on if it was a full $60 game or if it was going to be a smaller game. So let me fix this for you, Ubisoft, just a second. You needed to put more marketing money into Prince of Persia. Your slogan, to make it clear that it was a premium title, should have been the largest Metroidvania game ever made. Because it's, I don't know if it's there, but you know, you guys lie in marketing anyways, right? It's really damn close. It's a huge game. It's going to take people 20 hours to 30, depending on how much of a completionist you are, to finish the game. That immediately conveys to the audience that this is a big-ass premium product. Put posters up, tell people that it's the return of the prince. You didn't do any of that. You just threw it out there onto a stage and were like, Prince of Persia, the Lost Crown is a thing. And then when it failed, because nobody knew what it was, you're like, obviously, it's because gamers do not want to support high-quality single-player experiences. How can you be so dumb? These companies have the worst cases of confirmation bias ever seen. Very similar story with Immortals of Avium on EA. You know why Immortals of Avium failed? Its marketing was a complete disaster. And even with its marketing existing, half the planet didn't know it existed. People didn't know what it was about. People just straight up didn't know that the game existed or why they should care. So I hope they wake up. I hope they realize what's going on. That you just need to make a good game. You just need to really think outside the box and make something that shines with quality the moment that a person puts their hands on the controller or on the keyboard, or the moment that they see a video of it, they just go, damn, that's great. Make games that people want to tell their friends, come play this. You need to play this. No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't need to be multiplayer. It just needs to be good. It doesn't need microtransactions and doesn't need a live service. What it needs is for you guys to stop wasting so much money on so many things that are not needed. These companies are consistently lying to us and telling us that we're the ones asking for enormous, massive games with budgets that are out of control and that need further monetization to justify these enormous budgets. If that were true, why do the games with smaller budgets, more focused ideas with better development timelines, with people who actually know how to manage the resources they have available without all of this corporate bloat, how can these people make games, release them for cheaper, and just laugh all the way to the bank while we enjoy playing them? Why do you want to convince yourselves and us that we are guilty for the products that you want to force on us? So if we're shooting straight, if you don't do any of this dumb stuff, and you just make a good game, you'll be rewarded. And the more that this is happening, the more it shows something that we've already known for a long time. The AAA gaming space, the system, does not work anymore. It needs to stop. For as many healthy examples we've had, I think a lot of them are coming from Japan, from China, from Korea, these new models, that the way that they've embraced this future is slightly better, but they could fall down the same rabbit hole, don't worry about it. The entire AAA gaming space needs to change, it needs to adapt, it needs to learn the lessons from these games. For their sake, so that they don't keep taking these hits, but also for ours, because it'd be cool if the giant mega corporations that have all the money in the world would invest it into games that we actually want to play, into actually good games, instead of continuing to chase this imaginary golden goose that they believe exists and that they're all competing for, and continue to make terrible games while they do it. Make more games like Palworld, like Helldivers 2, like Last Epoch. We need more of that, and less of what the AAA gaming space has been trying to pump out. I've been chronicling a lot of the most curious news that has been happening throughout the year, the things I've covered, the things I haven't, put them on a big spreadsheet to hopefully do like a year-end review when we're close to 2025. And for me, the beginning of 2024 is punctuated by the rise of AA games showing up the AAA space. And I'm as happy as I am sad and worried Because at the end of the day, I'm just going to go play Helldivers if I can get into the game. Or I'm going to go play Last Epoch, and I'm just going to have a great time. But in the back of my mind, all the wasted potential is still there of how many great games we could be getting if these people just started paying attention. Anyways, I've been Mugthief. I hope this video wasn't overly emotional, I guess. I'm not a robot, though. A lot of people in the comments keep asking me if my voice is an AI, but I'm not. So, I care a lot about these things. In before the comments of, lol dude, it's just video games. But if you agree with any of this stuff, if you think any of this is important too, hit the like button. Leave a comment below. That's also good for the algorithm to get this video out to more people. If you're new here, and if you want more videos from me, like the games that we deserve, quality videos, make sure to subscribe. I'm doing my best out here. Thank you for watching, as always, and I'll see you again very soon.